Okay, my lovelies, you are probably aware that we are heading into the holiday season. Now, this can be sometimes an extremely stressful time for real estate investors because somehow the universe just makes it so that things happen on holiday days. Like, if you have been a real estate investor throughout the holidays at any point in time, you know that something breaks or someone gets locked out or something happens, right? But it doesn't have to be like that. And there are things that you can put in place so that you are not stressed out managing your rental properties throughout the season, especially if it's like a short-term rental or a mid-term rental, which a lot of the time they require a bit more like hands-on work. There are things and systems that you can put in place so that it is less stressful. And that is what I'm here to show you. This is what I'm here to tell you. Because real estate investing doesn't have to be stressful every step of the way. There are things that you can put in place to make it so that it is less stressful. And if you're anything like me, you purchased real estate investing so that you could live life your own way, do it your own way, and not be stressed out all the time like you probably are in your corporate job, okay? So trust me, these are things that you are going to want to implement right off the bat, like from day one. So these are 4 tips for managing your rental properties throughout the holiday season. Tip number 1, automated guest messaging. Now, if you've watched any of my other YouTube videos about like short-term rental tips or real estate investing tips, you know that I am freaking obsessed with automated guest messaging. Trust me, it will make your life so much easier. And this is something I implemented literally from day one whenever I purchased my first investment property. Because here's the thing, whenever you have guests checking in, they are all going to have the same questions, like literally all of them. And so you need to provide a lot of that information to them up front so that they aren't coming to you with a bunch of random questions about this and about that and blah, 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 blah. Instead, you're going to provide all of that information up front so they aren't messaging you about silly things like, how do I get through the door? What is my door code? How do I use the coffee maker? Like, oh, the hot tub's not working. You already have systems in place through this automated guest messaging. There are about 10 to 12 different messages that I send to every single guest without fail. This will ensure that you aren't getting messages over the holidays, on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, right? We don't want to have to deal with that, right? So you can actually mitigate that by putting in these automated guest messages. Now, personally, I use Hospitable. It's a property management system. It is fantastic and super affordable. If you want to try it out, let me know. I actually have an affiliate link for them, so I'm happy to send that over to you. Just DM me on Instagram and I can get that sent over to you. But it is phenomenal. And the great thing about it too is it will literally sync all of your calendars together. So if you have it listed on Airbnb or Vrbo, or if you're taking direct bookings, right? So it will sync all of them so that you don't have any overlap bookings too. There are other tools like Guesty and Hostfully, but honestly, from what I've heard, I've talked to so many different people. Hospitable, especially if you're just getting started, and even not just if you're getting started, but even if you're super advanced, is by far the best tool, like straight up the best tool. It is the most user-friendly, it is the most affordable, and the capabilities, like the startup is super, super easy. It's not a headache, so trust me, use Hospitable. The second tip for managing your rental properties throughout the holiday season without having to get like a giant headache is automated communication. Now, not with your guests, but with your cleaners and your handymen, and automatic payments. Now, there are different ways that you can do automatic payments depending on the way that you pay your tradespeople or how you pay your cleaners or your handymen. So for example, my handyman at all of my properties, they're on a monthly salary, basically. I just pay them a monthly fee and they are essentially there for whatever I need at any point in time. Whereas my cleaners get paid after each clean. Now, so that I'm not having to go on my phone and remembering to send them a Venmo payment or having to go online and sending them an invoice, I do all of my payments through Turno. Why? Because Turno literally will pay them out directly right after they're clean. They have to go in and check out. You don't have to worry about it after that. It does it for you. It's freaking phenomenal. I remember the first time, like the first year I purchased my rental property, I didn't have this set up yet. And y'all, it was such a headache. I remember being in Italy, like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot to pay my cleaner. Gosh darn it, right? Because I'm Venmoing her. After that, I said, no way, there has to be another way. And that is when I found Turno. And once again, Turno, I have an affiliate link for them. just send me a DM. Also, if you're in the Wanderlust Wealth Academy, you get all of these tools and links and everything. But if you're not, just send me a DM and I'm happy to send you the link for Turno. But it's phenomenal. And you don't pay anything extra. There's a small transaction fee with each payment, but it's so minimal, like $1. And trust me, it is so worth it. Especially if you're trying to live like a nomadic lifestyle or a lifestyle with more freedom rather than less. That is what we teach here. We're trying to get more freedom, not less. Okay, y'all, do I have something exciting for you? Now, I just came out with a brand new free training on exactly how you, yes, you can get started investing in real estate within the next 3 months. Because if you're someone who wants more freedom in your life, the ability to travel the world and do the things that you actually want to do in life, you're going to want to listen up. Trust me. Now, this training is freaking awesome. I literally go in and spill the tea on the number one strategy that is working right now, like literally today in today's market. And I go over how to look at deals and make sure that they actually cash flow and how to set your properties up so that you can run them from anywhere in the world. Like I literally have managed my properties from over 6 different time zones. So if you are stuck in analysis paralysis, you don't know where to start when it comes to real estate investing, but you know that it's something that you want to do in the future, this training is going to be for you. So to check it out, click the link in the show notes or DM me the word hack, like HACK on Instagram, and I will send you the link. Now let's dive back into the show. And then automated communications with your handyman and cleaners. So I am not sending a screenshot of the calendar, right, to my cleaners and my handyman every month or every week. That would be such a pain in the behind. Instead, through both Turno and Hospitable, the 2 tools that I talked about, my cleaners can see the calendar. They can see when someone's checking in. They can see when someone's checking out. It'll even send them an automatic message to be like, hey, we have someone checking in this time. Can you do this cleaning? Or can you turn over the property? Or can you do the hot tub maintenance? That way, I don't have to think about it. They can put it on their calendar and you're not throughout the holidays thinking, oh my gosh, I forgot to send the calendar to my cleaner, to my handyman, and now we don't have anyone coming to clean on Thanksgiving's day or the day after Thanksgiving, right? No, we've got all of that automated. You don't have to think about it. Brain power released for other things. Now, tip number 3 for managing your properties throughout the holiday season is to hire a virtual assistant, aka a VA. This is what I have been really focused on implementing this year. I got my first VA in January, I think. Was it January or February? No, I think it was either January or February. Y'all, my brain power. I remember the first week I had her was phenomenal. Like she is my dear, my right-hand woman. She literally crushes it. And I ended up hiring another VA strictly for guest messaging. And this is why and how I was able to go traveling and turn off my phone for multiple days at a time and not have to worry. Like I did literally nothing while gone for 3 weeks in Argentina because of my virtual assistants. They are freaking phenomenal. They're worth every single penny. I'm always like, what more? Like, I will hire you for even more, anything that you want. Literally, they're phenomenal. Okay. Because your VAs, you know how, like I said at the beginning, tip number 1 was automated guest messaging. The thing is, people are still going to have random questions. 90 to 95% of those questions can be answered by your automated guest messaging, but there's still going to be random things that come up here and there. And sometimes guests don't read, we know, right? Like, and you've probably been that person where you check into an Airbnb and you haven't even read any of the things and you're like, where's this? Even though they have it all written in there. Yeah, we know. It happens. So your virtual assistants can take all of that over. They can do all of that extra messaging for you. And so what I actually did was I created standard operating procedures, yes, SOPs, for all of the questions that have come up in the past or any other things that aren't going to necessarily be in the guest messaging and how to respond to them. So there are literally like paragraphs or sentences of how the VAs, the virtual assistants, should respond to each and every question and like extra things about the property. Those are all in our SOPs so that the VAs, whenever they are responding to guests, they don't even question. They can just go and look at the SOPs and be like, oh yeah, this is the answer. And then they respond to it. And that way you're not the one who's like looking at your phone on Thanksgiving's Day or on Christmas Day, right? Trying to respond to these guests. Your VAs have got it. So yes, trust me, hire a VA. is life-changing. And now for the fourth and final tip for managing your rental properties throughout the holidays, and y'all trust me, this is definitely like one of the best ones, is do not allow check-in on Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day. Don't allow check-in on those days because trust me, people are going to have the most questions on check-in day. Like if someone is checking into a property, that is the day where you're usually going to get the most like questions, concerns, like where's this, where's that, yada, 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 yada. Let's just avoid this. Let's just make it not happen. Let's not have that day be the day where you're getting bombarded with questions. Instead, you can actually block it so they can't check in that day. You can still have a booking over that day. So I'll let people check in the day before or a couple days before. And it also forces the algorithm to show your property only to folks who will book over a longer period, right? Like they're not going to just do a one-day booking. It forces it to be booked out for 2 days, 3 days too. And this also just gives you so much more peace of mind on these holiday days, and it allows you to spend time with your family, enjoy the holidays, not be stressed out. Trust me, like you're not going to lose out on money or anything, but you will find someone who's going to want to book the day before and the day after and stay the entire time. Okay, so those are my 4 tips for managing your rental properties throughout the holidays for a less stressful holiday season. If you found these tips to be helpful, make sure to DM me on Instagram or post it on Instagram. I like to just see what you're listening in on, what you're vibing with. I appreciate you so much. You're going to crush it this holiday season. And also, if you are thinking like 2025 is your year for buying an investment property, you're finally wanting to jump in, get started, or maybe you've got one property and you're like, how do I get the next one or the next one? I'm actually going to be hosting a free masterclass. So make sure to DM me the word rich girl on Instagram and I'll send you the link. Like it's going to be on Tuesday. So come through. Okay, bye fam. Thank you so much for listening to Wanderlust Wealth Show. Now, don't forget to follow the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love this episode, it would literally mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or a family member or literally like anyone off of the street. Like right now, go ahead, share it so you don't forget, or post it on social media and make sure to tag me. I love seeing what you're listening in on and what you resonated with, and I'm just so freaking thankful for you. I'm so freaking excited for you. I love you, and don't forget, life really doesn't have to be hard.